under this blue. Let's have it right. Up the Chels, up the middles. Let's go. Have it right, Middles FC. You got the minerals, yeah? Love it. Got the minerals, TT.
Hey, Johnny's got the fucking minerals, mate.
So have it right, up the Chels, up the Minerals FC. A big up to every single one of you live and locked in tonight on this Saturday night. I hope everyone is sitting comfortably on their fucking sofa. Yeah, so have it right. I hope everyone is doing well. First and foremost, guys, you know what to do. Smash to pieces that like button. We've got over 140 of you in here. Smash that like button while you're in here very, very quickly before we get into the show. It's very simple. Just thumbs up. Let's have it right. We got obviously the button to subscribe. So make sure you do subscribe to the Minerals FC. We're up on the way to 7K and we're moving there very quickly. Soon it will be 10, 20, 30, and we keep on rolling, bruv. We keep on stacking up. And the stocks are high on the Minerals FC. Let's have it right. We got the notification bell, all that jazz, you know, ding dong. Let's have it right. Make sure you do hit that so you know when I go live in future. And we've got the Minerals FC Ultras membership, which is pinned at the top of the live chat and down below in the description. You know what I mean? So we know what we're doing here. Everyone knows the deal. I know all my Minerals FC Ultras are in here. Everyone's in here. If you're not in the chat, let me know you're in here. Let's quickly see who is in here. So I know Neil was in here earlier. Shout out to Neil. Special shout out to Neil. Proper Chels. Been going since what, the 70s to Chelsea, home and away, all that jazz. Proper Chels. He knows the deal. He's switched on, as is all the Minerals FC Ultras in here. We've got Mr. Minerals Medina, Leo, my geezer. We've got Hannah Chels. Big up to Hannah. Big up to Johnny. Big up to Aaron Smith, my geezer. Lovely to see you in here. Ozzy's in here. Let's have a look. Anthony's in here. Blue is the colour. Captain Crunch. Who else is here? Who's here, bro? Who's here? Let's have a look. Maximum's in here. Goodius. Let me keep going through. Skills is in here. Lee Taylor. Big up to all you guys. Every single one of you. Bartek Minerals is in here. Come on, Bartek, bruv. Hope you're doing well, my geezer. Who else in here? Who else? We got H Talks. Big up H Talks. Love to you, geezer. Who else? We got JP the dog. We got Michael in here. Young brothers in here. Joey, come on, Joey, bruv. We've had a nice little conversation. Joey's on the ball, bruv. He's been landing minerals, and we will meet up at the bridge and have it right. Big up to Joey. And as he says, the owners are a long way from fucking Clapham, bruv. They're a long way from Hackney, bruv. Do you know what I mean? They're a long way from EastEnders, mate. Shout out to who else in here, bruv? Who else is in here? Let me have a quick butchers, bruv. Come on. Bazjan's in here. Lovely to see you, Bazjan. Mimi's in here. Dynamic. Ram's in here. Who else we got in here, bruv? That's right. My dance video for Casado signing, not LMAO. Come on, bruv. You know the deal, bruv. What's happening with Casado? We're going to delve into that. Nate's in here. Julius is in here. Big up to Julius. Let me see. All right, so I want to shout out Chelsea Old Boys as well, my geezer. And as always, to everyone in here, you know the deal. We see things they'll never see. Biggest club in London, elite club in London. We are Chelsea. Let's not forget who we are, what we've built, where we have come from. Yeah, and let's not let what's happening right now take your mentality away from what we are about. And we're not living on our history, no, because we only won the Champions League a couple seasons ago. Club World Cup, Super Cup. It's not like we won it, 7-8 years ago. It was very recent. Let's have it right. And it's not very, very easy to do. So I want people to understand and keep your standards very, very high, as they should be. Yeah, as they should be. So, guys, we're going to go through a lot of things. I never got to do a reaction on Super Frank and his interview, but I'm going to take a few bits because it's very long. I'm not going to go through the whole bloody thing. It'd take us forever, probably being here for 7 hours. Let's have it right. Shout out Stretters. I see Stretters in here. So Johnny Ropes. I do love a rope. He knows that fella. I like a rope. Yeah. If you know what that is, you know what it is. It is what it is. What else? We're going to go through everything, but I'm just going to land it. Fuck it. I can't be bothered anymore. Like, I'm tired of this. It's been too quiet. Everything's quiet at Chelsea. There's nothing really going on. It's just the same old crap, same old recycling that is happening at Chelsea. Fabrizio Romano, yeah, we all know him. Yeah, I work 20 fucking hours a week. Well, this geezer, he loves to recycle Casado. Casado, we're in talks with Casado. No shit, we know that. Where's the signing, bud? Where is Casado? Why are we not signing him now? He's going to be 100 million. So do the deal and get the money and pay him up, bud. You know that Brighton are spanking you, so get the deal done. For fuck's sake, we got pre-season coming. Let's land it. Let's give the gaffer the tools. Yeah, give him a fucking DM, man. We've been crying out for a DM for God knows how long, and we still ain't got a DM. All right, let's go and get a DM right now. Yeah. Ted Lasso Bowley, Siri Merchant, and Paul Toothpick Winstanley. This guy can't negotiate fuck all. All right, this guy needs to get on it, bro. That's his old club. Why don't you give a few phone calls, man? Like he didn't give it to Mason Mount. Yeah, why don't you go and do your job? That's what you're paid to do. Do your fucking job. Just like all these journos, they need to do their job. And they don't do their jobs. They wear their wishy-washy flip-floppers, bangers and mash waffle, all that jazz, bro. It's always been like that. All right. So where's Casado? I don't want to hear we're in talks and he only wants to come to Chelsea. I don't give a shit. All I care about is that we bring in the position that we are in desperate need of. All right. Because right now, what's happened today? Breaking news today. Now, we knew it's a here we go. Yeah. We knew it's a here we go. All right. For Declan Rice to Arsenal, and now it's official. He's been unveiled, and let's have it right. That AFT video, bruv. Not even Tom Jones was fucking turned around in his chair for that one. I mean, that is absolutely cringeworthy, bruv. I mean, it's embarrassing. Who comes up with this shit? Who orchestrates and choreographs this nonsense? Who even comes up with the idea to make this stuff? You know what I mean? It's just cringe, bruv. I swear they just do it for clicks. I don't know. It's embarrassing. A bit like Arsenal Football Club, a fucking embarrassment. You got Lego Merchant, bottled it last year, and now what's the excuse? You got Declan Rice now. You got the silky German Kai Havertz. You're building a core. Well done. You've got a core, but you better go and win that Premier League, bruv. I mean, what's this now? What? We're going to challenge. It was a failure last season. A fucking failure. You bottled it. You know what I mean? You were ahead by 9 points and you let City overtake you and you weren't even in fucking Europe. Yeah, these lot are playing Champions League football. They're in every cup competition. You lot bottled it. So now you've got Declan Rice. Declan Rice should have been at Chelsea. We should have kept Mason Mount. If we kept Mason Mount, we might have got Declan Rice. But let's have it right. Let's enlighten everyone with Declan Rice. Because Ted Lasso-Bowley, the big clown, fat red nose that he's got, yeah, and I will continue to call him that because that's exactly what he is, the 10% merchant. He insulted Declan Rice's family. He made jokes about Rice, yeah? And you think you're trying to sign this player, yeah? Not only did they piss themselves about the project was a joke, all right? No one's taking this project seriously. That's why we're not signing any fucking elite players. And that's why we can't sign any elite players, because also the wage structure restricts us. So we're very limited in the market. I don't know. Ding dong, wake up. Do you know what I mean? Wake up. Why is everyone asleep? Does everyone understand? So now we're having a full count 100 million for Casado. What did Declan Rice go for? 100 million, is it? 100 million plus 5 million add-ons. And Brighton want more than 100 million. Why do they want more than 100 million? I'll tell you why they want more than 100 million. Because they know Chelsea's just gone and sold an entire 11 out of our squad. And we're not just talking deadwood players. We're talking first team players. N'Golo Kante, Kovacic. We sold Jorginho, obviously we all know that. We've sold Mason Mount, Kai Havertz, Pulisic is gone now. Everyone's fucking gone. Everyone's leaving. We got 3 players. Let's have it right. Let's land it. Let's land it right now. Yeah. This is what we got now at Chelsea. All right. We got 3 players out of our Champions League winning team. Yeah. Club World Cup, Super Cup. That is what we're left with. Chilwell, Reece James, Thiago Silva. Now, Ted Lasso-Bowley and Siri Merchant, they've sold Jorginho, Kai Havertz, Mendy, Kante, Azpilicueta, Mason Mount, Kovacic, of course. Yeah, the so-called deadwood player that's now been signed by Pep Guardiola. And you've got City fans lapping it up, enjoying it, loving it, thinking, what a baller we got at our club. And we won the treble and we're ambitious and we're going to keep fighting and we're going to dominate and this and that. Where's Chelsea? Where is our ambition like that? You see, if you had real ambition, you would have a transition. You would keep some of these players. You'd extend their contracts on fucking proper wages. Yeah, not all this. Oh, man, it's like starters. It's like going to McDonald's and just getting, you know, a little cheeseburger and that's it. No, I want the full shebang, bruv. I want the double quarter pounder with cheese, with extra fucking cheese, extra gherkin, extra sauce on there, the Big Mac. I want my 20 nuggets. I want everything. Yeah, I don't want to just have a little hamburger and that's it. Like, no, you pay them. You pay them the full whack. Give them everything. Yeah, and keep the transition so that Pochettino's got some world-class quality and experience to work with so that he can bleed through and blend in and actually integrate young talent that we are bringing to our football club. You can't just rely on youth and young players. I'm hearing we're signing a 16-year-old player, yeah? That they're interested from a 16-year-old from Frankfurt. Like, what are we doing here? I'm sick to fucking death of signing kids, all right? Go and get me proper players, elite ballers, man. You got all our rivals that are serious. They're not even fucking rivals anymore. We're competing with Brighton now. We're competing with Brentford and fucking West Ham's and all this nonsense and even Spursy, bro. You got all these rival. They're not even rivals, bro. You got the teams above us that are actually in Champions League football that are competing or in Europa League, bro. They're going out in the market and they're spending seriously. They're buying top quality, whether it's young experience. Let me reiterate that. Young fucking experience they're buying proven pedigree in the league that they're buying from. They're also buying top players from Europe. What are we doing as a football club? All right, you lot are applauding the owners for making 200 million back after their fuck up 635 million spent. All right, now what are we doing here? What are we doing? Like, seriously, why are we not out in the market? Right, Casado, yeah, Brighton, no, we sold all our players. We got money in the bank. We've balanced financial fair play because we sold our most valuable Cobham asset in Mason Mount. We've sold Kai Havertz. We've got him off the books. We've got Kante off the books. Astronomical wages, yeah, 300 grand a week. We've got Kovacic off the books. Jorginho off the books. We've got Pulisic off the books. We're going to have Aubameyang off the books. We can't even get the fucking cement-buried field off the books. But that'll come. It's got to come. And we'll talk about that rat. And that's what you call a rat and a snake, yeah? Let's have it right. So we're gonna offload. They've offloaded all these players, yeah. All right. What are we left with? All right. We've got no experience, yeah. Nothing. All right. And we're bringing in young players. We got to rely. Let me fucking say this. We got to rely on Broha and Jackson, yeah. And we're not talking Michael Jackson superstar, yeah. This is Jackson. This is the ownership moonwalking us down to fucking what? Championship at this rate, because we're not being serious in the market, because we're limited. We're restricted to what we can go and buy. We're hearing Osimhen's going to stay at Napoli and he's desperate to stay at Napoli. Why? Because he's been outpriced, 120 million. Who's going to fucking pay that? We can't pay that. Apparently we got all the fucking money. Like we thought when we first came in, when they first came in, we were loving it, man. I was loving it. We're spending all the money. But did I fucking know that they were selling all of our experienced players in return, and to bring in a multi-club project and a fucking youth FC, kindergarten FC? What are we doing here, bruv? What the fuck is going on? All right. And you can go, yeah, we'll wait till the end of the market. We got pre-season around the corner. All right. We're going to the States. What are you left with the gaffer? What's the gaffer got? You need to give Pochettino players up front, man. Man United doing deals quick. Man City doing deals quick. Arsenal doing deals quick before their pre-season so they can bed these players in. What are we fucking doing? Monkeying around, bruv, twiddling our fucking bollocks. What are we doing, man? Right? It's a joke. All right? These owners need to wake up and go out there and spend the money. You were happy to spend the 600 million 2 windows, a record. Let's have it right. You're breaking records galore, but all for the wrong reasons. All right? Let's break the records. Let's go and buy proper players. We're hearing now that Mihajlovic and what Martinez, no, Chelsea are not interested. Why? Why do you think that? I'll tell you why. Because they can't pay the wages, mate. Pay the wages. Doesn't suit the model. We got to get young talent in. Well, what, you think Osimhen's going to come for cheap wages? No, he ain't. Of course he ain't. There's other clubs that want to buy him. Why are we not looking at Harry Kane, for fuck's sake? Now it's a difficult sign to get Harry Kane. But Bayern Munich are looking to buy Harry Kane. If Manchester United go and get Harry Kane, then you're talking Man United are right up there. I say it now. They go and get Harry Kane. They've got a core, a backbone, a gaffer, stability. They will go all the way and they will properly challenge for the Premier League. Arsenal, we don't know. We don't know what their Lego head's going to do. But let's have it right. He's bought Declan Rice. Declan Rice, probably one of the best DMs in the world. We should have had him at Chelsea. We fucked around last summer. Yeah, you can blame Roman. Frank Lampard speaks. I wanted Declan Rice. I saw him as a captain. Definitely with Mason Mount. Both of them. Both best mates. You build your fucking core with these types of players. And when we talk about Frank Lampard and when we go to his interview, he says some very factual things, all right? Things that I've been saying, and I respect Frank Lampard. You know, he talks fantastic, and we're going to go into that. And he's our legend and our GOAT. Maybe not the greatest manager, we know that. But at the end of the day, what was he fucking going to do coming in when he did it last season? I mean, he was a joke, man. A fucking circus. And everyone knows it's a circus. And it still is at the moment. No one knows what's going on. It's a shit show everywhere behind the scenes. Where's the structure? Where's the strategy? Where's the actual targets that we're looking at? Where are the plays? We can't just literally wait on Casado. Casado is the only DM we can go for because all the other DMs have been taken in world football. We've been done with a guy. He's gone to PSG. You couldn't get Casemiro when Tuchel wanted him last summer. You can't get Declan Rice because, let's have it right, Declan Rice, you were never going to pay him 300 grand a week or whatever he's getting, astronomical wages. All right. You couldn't even keep Mason Mount because you wouldn't pay the 300 grand for him. He's gone to Man United. They paid 300 grand. You couldn't pay Kai Havertz money on a 2-year extension, so you had to sell Kai Havertz. And Kai Havertz has gone for 325 grand a week. I think he's the highest earner at Arsenal. Mason Mount's the 3rd highest earner. He's below Varane and fucking Casemiro, all right? Because they value these players. What do our owners do? What do they value? They don't value fuck all, man. All they value is their multi-club project. All they value is pound notes, how they can make profit out of young kids, bro. Epstein FC, bro. That is exactly what it is at Chelsea. And no one fucking has a Scooby, man. No one gets it. No one understands what My Minerals FC Ultras do, but I'm talking about all over social media. They're all lapping it up. Of course, you know, you can buy some real talent. Yeah, we got some talent, but talent's not everything. Just like Mudrik's tattoo, bro. It's not everything. Talent's not enough. You know, you've got to have mentality, you've got to have leaders, you've got to have the damn minerals and DNA at your club. And what we're hearing, Pochettino wants to keep a core of academy products, and you're telling me that he didn't want Mason Mount at our football club? Jog on, you fucking melts, you agenda merchants. You know you're in the mud. You know it. Deep down, you fucking well know it, because there is no way that Pochettino wouldn't want Mason Mount. He never spoke to him. We know that is facts. Mason Mount's come out and said that the owners had no intention of keeping him. He wasn't in their plans, and it come out from his mouth, and that's the horse's fucking mouth, bro. So we take note of that. All right, he wasn't wanted. I mean, he's wanted at another club, and you've got Ten Hag going, oh, it's a joy with Mason Mount. It's a joy. He's going to be a joy to this team, what he brings to this team. You could see in his preseason game what he brings. You know what I mean? It makes me fucking sick that we got this guy at Man United now. Yeah, he's our player. He should have been at Chelsea. We should have had Declan Rice at Chelsea. You have a DNA and a core, bruv. You got Reece James, Declan Rice, Mason Mount. Fucking backbone, man. That's what I'm talking about. We don't have that at Chelsea. At Chelsea, we're struggling for a backbone. You're relying on Caicedo. Is Caicedo on the same level as Declan Rice and Casemiro? Absolutely fucking not. Is he anywhere in the Rodri? He plays for Brighton. What's he won? Declan Rice won the third-tier European Cup, and he was pivotal in winning that trophy. Do you know what I mean? That's a proper DM. And now he's strengthened Arsenal. All the other teams are above us are strengthening, and they will be up there challenging. So where is this delusion that Chelsea, with these kids, are going to go and compete for top four? I mean, I don't know where you get it from. Like, I admire the optimism. I admire it. But let's be real. We've got to be real about the situation. You know what I mean? You have to be real about it. Fucking hell, bruv. What are we doing here, man? All right, let me run through quickly these. I'm not even reading that fucking name. Up the Minerals FC, big up to you, Giz. Thanks for giving us your best player. He's now one of our own. Fuck off, man. I don't want to hear this shit, all right? He's not one of your own. You bought one of our own. Our fucking player, our baller, our best player at Chelsea that we've sold, that these clowns have sold to your club to make you better. Big up to Ten Hag, he says, for landing the Minerals and Mount. Casemiro, Mount, yes, please. Well, listen, this is it. You're going to have Casemiro now sitting there in front of their back four, giving at least a lot to Mason Mount. Mason Mount's be dropping in deep. Johan Mount, Minerals all over the gaff. And I'm going to be fucking seeing that at Manchester United. It's a joke, man. Honestly, makes me sick to my stomach. These owners, I'll never forgive them for this. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, this is a criminal offence. You should be banged up. You should be chucked out of Chelsea Football Club, especially the way you treated him. Ted Lasso-Bowley, you agenda merchant, yeah? The way you disgracefully treated Mason Mount. You're a fucking fraud, bruv, yeah? You don't know what you're doing. You don't have any idea about football. You're meant to be such an amazing businessman, so elite, so clever, yet you're getting spanked left, right, and centre by all these signings, by all these wages. You bought Koulibaly, put him on 300 grand a week, so you didn't know what the fuck you're doing, you panicked, all right? When Tuchel didn't even want Koulibaly, and that's a fact, and now you sold him to Saudi because you had to get him off the books because it doesn't suit your wage structure. Because why? It causes friction with players like a Mason Mount and a Kai Havertz, and when they're offered shit wages, and then you're saying, yeah, but you're giving Koulibaly 300 grand a week. He ain't won the Champions League for Chelsea, Super Cup, Club World Cup. You're giving Sterling 325 grand. Yeah, but he ain't done anything for Chelsea. Why are we getting lower wages than these guys? You can't have that. So now you've got to lower the wage structure, get everyone off the books, which is exactly what you've done. This is not about what Pochettino wants. This was about what the owners wanted. Pochettino came out and he said it in his press conference, his first presser, and we've done the last stream on that. He says, I trusted the owners, what they were going to do before I arrived. But when I arrive, I have to have a say. I have to get involved. Why didn't you get involved before, for fuck's sake? Why? Because you were told this is the deal. You come to Chelsea, we have to sell all these players. And that's exactly what they've gone and done. Yeah? Now, fuck off, yeah? You're a joke. Absolute joke. You're an embarrassment, man. You're fucking embarrassing. All you give a shit about is branding. Strasbourg, buying youth, buying talent, this and that. What about our first team? You can't even get Casado over the line. Brighton are going to wait for 110 million. And the funny thing is, Ted Lasso bowling Siri Merchant, you're going to have to fucking pay it. Oh, well, what a shame. I hope you do pay it. We need a DM and we need a fucking good DM. All right. And this guy apparently fits the profile because he's young enough and he's got Premier League experience. So let's bring him in, bruv. Let's bring him in. Let's bring in more 23-year-olds and 22-year-olds. Don't look at anyone over 25, 26, 27. Fuck that. We don't need that. We don't need the experience. Pochettino don't need no experience in his team. We just need a load of young kids. Go and get the Chedry guy as well. Chedry, whatever his name is. Looks a lovely talent. Let's bring him in as well. More young players. But let's talk about when Frank Lampard said about Eden Hazard, shit trainer. But my, did he perform on the pitch? Yeah. But we had John Terry, leader. It was me, he said, myself. You know, I'm a little bit quiet, but I lead by example. Training, hard training. Set the benchmark. We had Didier Drogba, charismatic. He had a mentality. You got Peter Cech, spoke 5 different languages. A fucking what? A what? A backbone, mate. Yeah, a core. Yeah, that's what you need. A core. All right. And where is your core? Where are your homegrown players? Where are the players that understand Chelsea? Where are the experienced cores, the leaders? So when we sign these young players, they come, they look in awe of these players, and there's standards, and there's levels, and there's a bar to fucking hit. All right. Right now, that bar, as Super Frank we will go into, it exposes and says that the standards are in the fucking mud. This is not Chelsea standards. Yeah, so here we are. He says, with all seriousness, bruv, who's your starting 11? Right now, I can't say. I will answer that at the end of the transfer window because I don't know what we're signing, who we're signing. I don't know anymore. Do you know what? I don't believe any of the transfer rumours. You got Mihailovic and Martinez, who, let's be real, they're not really fucking top notch. Martinez has got experience. We could do with someone like that. I do believe. I don't think Jackson's got it. He needs to be bed in. They need fucking time, these kids. These kids can't just come into Chelsea in the Premier League, most relentless league, and you expect them to just kickstart and land it. I mean, that's such a gamble in itself. They're risky. They're playing poker, these lot, and they're getting done every time. They're losing all their fucking money. Now they have to be extra cautious. I said, you can't get it wrong. You think selling all these fucking first-team players, right, and then bringing in 3 players only is enough for us to go up a notch under Pochettino? Fucking hell, man. We need major surgery at this rate. AJ says, parties going Saudi, Arsenal could get Casado. Listen, bruv, if that happens... Yeah, if that happens, and do you know what? Right now, if Arsenal go and get Casado and have Declan Rice, we're fucked. We're finished. Chelsea are fucked. Yeah, if we believe this so-called propaganda that Casado only wants Chelsea, what's he been promised, bruv? You know, what's he been promised? But right now, if I'm Casado, am I looking at Chelsea or am I looking at Arsenal right now? Arsenal are looking very strong, and they're looking like they've got a core at the moment. We don't have that. We're relying on Casado. Take Casado and Enzo out of our midfield. Let's say they don't play or they get injuries. What you left with? Yeah, you sold our entire midfield. We've got the Bermuda Triangle right now in midfield, bruv. And you've got Enzo holding it. That's it. You've got Enzo there. He says you have 2 players, bruv. James is injured. I mean, listen, this is a joke. Now, the reports were James was injured or he's got a little niggle and he might not travel to pre-season yet. And then we're hearing mixed reports that he is travelling to pre-season. Whatever it is, sort it out, man. Fucking hell, sort it out. If we go another season without Reece James again, I mean, fuck me, man. You're relying on Gusto coming from the French league to try and what? To reach the levels of Reece James. Are we really going down that road? Are we really believing that? Not really, bruv. It's not happening, is it? Let's be honest. AFT dancing to Rice Ross, baby. I feel sick. I mean, listen, they've got an absolute baller. They got the Rolls Royce. They got the Rolls Royce. What have we got? What have we got? Yeah. Why didn't we go last summer when Thomas Tuchel wanted Casemiro and he wanted Declan Rice? What did the owners make the decision on? They made the shots. They called the shots. And what did they get us? They didn't get us a DM. We've been fucking crying. You talk about the Ida fan. The Ida fan is your Jap side, bruv. Because at the end of the day, if you listen to the Ida fan and what the supporters were saying, everyone was screaming out for a DM. How many times on our stream did we say we need a DM? And we didn't get a DM. Instead, you're going out and buying defenders and fucking Sterlings and Aubameyangs and all this nonsense, bruv. Fucking hell, bruv. Frozen FC landing. The lag everywhere we go. Well, if it's lagging, it's lagging, bruv. Maybe it's just too much minerals for them to fucking digest. It is what it is. AJ says Arsenal signing Rice allows Havertz to ball out. Exactly. But this is my point. I've been saying this continuously, bruv. Go and get a DM, and it gives a license to these players to play, man. Yeah, we could have had, right? We could have had Mason Mount, Kai Havertz, Nkunku, Enzo, bruv. Oh my God, mixing Declan Rice and a Casado, all right? That's challenging. That's intent. That's ambition. Mudryk as well. Sterling. That's ambition. This is not ambition now. This is fucking wishy-washy kindergarten shit, all right? It's a joke. It's so weak. It's like, don't worry, we'll wait 3-4 years. Let them develop. Let them develop. We ain't got time to develop players. You think Pochettino's going to have the time to develop these players? Even he said it, the gaffer. He says, you don't get time in this league. You have to act now. You have to be quick. You can't give him any time to think, these players, because they got to land the damn minerals. Well, we're right now. What's he left with? What chance he got, man? Fucking hell, man. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? I mean, this is just a joke, man. It's an absolute joke. Mount is on fire. He's a red. We all desire Mount is on fire. No, fuck off, yeah. I don't want to hear that shit, all right? That's a shit chant anyway, all right? That's wishy-washy. There's no minerals in that at all, bruv, yeah? But my thing is this, right? He will ball out. It makes me fucking sick he's in that United shirt. Doesn't even suit him, bruv. It doesn't even suit him. And not only that, they give him a number 7, man. Whoa, fuck, man. Number 7 shirt. That's like, you know what that means. And then everyone's like, oh, yeah, let's make a fail comp. Oh, man, we're fucking going to feed our agenda. You fucking idiots. You wrong'uns. Look at it. You look so stupid, mate. Yeah? This gaffer's going to build the team around him. We should have done that at Chelsea because we got clowns upstairs that don't understand football, making football fucking decisions, all right? You got Toothpick Winstanley, Christopher Vell. We don't even know what Christopher Vell does, bruv. We know that Red Bull model is exactly right up their street. Quality street now, fuck that. I like roses, bruv. I like roses. Quality street now, not for me, bruv. All right? So what are we doing here, man? Celebrations. There's no celebrations here. There's no celebrations here, mate. It's piss poor. It's like a funeral at Chelsea at the minute. All right? And until I see elite signings, I can't see us competing. Yeah? You might go a little way. We'll be positive. We're going to support our players. All right? And what we're hearing, Gallagher's going to stay now. All right? But I'm hearing the owners are desperate to sell him. So what's it going to be? What are we doing here? Yeah? What are we doing? And we're hearing Neymar links. What are you talking about, Neymar? Neymar, who's paying the 700 grand a week? I'd love to know signing Neymar and paying him 700 grand a week. Yeah, that doesn't fit the model. So, I mean, this is just like to feed it to the supporters to make them believe and deceive them that we're actually going to go out and sign some world-class elite players, when in reality, you're not even buying Vlahovic, who's not even that. All right, but he's got a bit more experience. You're not even buying Martinez. He doesn't want to leave Italy and come to Chelsea with no Champions League football. So you're out of it. But we're a massive club. We're an elite club, man. The way we're being treated and dressed, it's like we're fucking in the Championship. It's like we're a mid-table team. You know, there's nothing elite about the way these owners run our football club. And it's all about fucking marketing. That's what it's all about, bruv. As a Man City fan, thanks for Cover. He's going to ball out in Pep's system. I know that. I know this. To me, Cover was never dead wood. I would say, look, if you replaced him with someone else of a similar ilk, a similar quality, maybe a little bit younger, cool. I'm down for that. But what have we done? We ain't brought anyone in for the start. Yeah, we ain't brought anyone in. We're bringing in more kids. We're relying on Chukwuemeka, fucking Gallagher, and with Enzo at the minute. And what we're talking about, 18-year-old Santos, who everyone's got high hopes for, and they want to build the whole image around him. We don't even know whether he's capable of playing in the Premier League. You know, Pochettino's got to assess these kids, all right? But unfortunately, he's got no choice but to play these kids. That's the deal. That's the deal, bruv. Yeah. These owners is like dancing with the devil, mate. Bruv, we gave him the 7 and 300k a week. We treated him better than his own club, Chelsea. Now he's our baller. Fucking hell. This is true and this is facts. And you don't need to tell me. Why don't you tell all these other fucking platforms, these rats, these idiots, yeah, wrong'uns that fed into agenda. They fed an agenda that forced this player out of football club, and they made it easy for the owners to sell this player. If the supporters were together, all together, and they didn't want to sell Mason Mount, like the majority of the proper Chelsea didn't want to sell him, but the idiots, the clowns, the social media, Twitter virgins, those ones fed into it. So therefore, it made it easy for Bowley to sell him. He creates divide. Bowley, Siri Merchant, Ted Lasso Bowley. You think you can fool me? No chance, mate. Yeah, you've created a divide. That is exactly the tactic. That way you can manipulate the supporters. If as long as there's a divide in the supporters, it's all gravy for you lot. You can do whatever you want, but not with me and not with my platform. It doesn't go down like that. So you better get on off your fat asses, bruv, and go out in the market and go and get me proven pedigree players, elite ballers, and you fucking pay him the wages. Yeah, you want Mbappe? Go and get Mbappe. That will give you the money financially, bruv. That's an elite player. That's a world-class player. Go and buy him. Spend your whole fucking 200 million on him and pay him the 800 grand a week and show intent and minerals. You ain't going to do that. You can't do it. Doesn't suit your model. Your model's a joke. Your model's kindergarten. You know, that's what your model is. And as far as you go on with your model, we're finished, bruv. I'm lagging. Oh, it is what it is, bruv. It is what it is. Let me try and sort it out, guys. Let me sort it out. While I do that, smash the like button, guys. Smash the like button. Let's do it. Let me come in and out. All right, is that better? Are we live now, bruv? Are we all gravy? Yeah? Are we all gravy? Let me know in the chat if we're all good, yeah? Let me know if we're all good, bruv. And then people are twerking for what is it? Tony, yeah? Ivan Tony. I mean, man, we're Chelsea. Like, what are we doing here? Why is Man United, Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, why are they not going for Ivan Toney? Why is it all right for Chelsea, but it's not their level? It just tells you everything about it, about the whole. It tells you everything. A black screen. What do you mean, bruv? Joey's telling me I'm good. You lot are telling me a black screen. Let me know, bruv. Let me know in the chat, man, before we continue. Let me know in the chat. Everyone's saying black screen. Is it all right now? Right, we're back. We're back live. What is going on, bruv? Big up Stretters. Big up Stretters with the Johnny Rope, bruv. All right, so we're back now. We're back. All right, so what are we talking now, bruv? Let's bring up this fucking absolute rat. And let's remind everyone, so many people back this wrong'un, bruv. So many people back this wrong'un. I mean, look at the state of this. The kiss the badge merchant. Every club he's been to, he's kissed the badge. He's got no allegiance to any club. He's a cement-booted rat. We know that. He's a shocking footballer. All right. You know, no one can tell me you would buy him on FIFA. You wouldn't even buy him on FIFA. Not even if he was just a sub player, bruv. You wouldn't even do it for the squad. All right. You pollute your entire squad, bruv. This guy, yeah. This guy is like, I don't know, man. He thinks like he says I should be up there with Benzema and Lewandowski. Oh, bruv, you're a long way from Starbucks, man. You're a long way from fucking Chels. You're a long way from everywhere, mate. From the world. What are you drinking? You're dreaming, fella. I mean, this guy is a joker. All right. that this guy thinks that he's up there with the very best of all the best. No chance, man. This guy will never be up there, bruv. You know what? This guy, yeah, all right. Not only is he fucked us financially, he's on 440 grand a week. We are desperate to get him off the books. We cannot get him off the books. This guy, yeah, Lukaku, yeah, they call him Lukaku. All right. This guy, he can't even lift weights, bruv. He doesn't want to lift weights. He doesn't want to lose weight. The only thing he lifts is his fucking fork to eat his pasta. And that's it. Or maybe he doesn't even use a fork. He uses his hand to eat pizza. All right. Because that's what he loves. That's his diet. Yeah. And his nutrition. This guy don't even lift weights, bruv. So what makes you think he's going to lift up and pick up a telephone and speak to Inter Milan or his agent? This guy's a joke, man. This guy's a joke. He's literally a bag of cement. Inter Milan have got out. They don't want to pay any more than 30 million. I mean, his owners should just get him off the books because it's all about wages. They can't even do that because they think they can get more than 30 million. Do they not understand the value of this guy? This guy's value's just plummeted. I mean, he's shocking, bruv. He stopped them from winning the Champions League. He blocked the equaliser, bruv. What a shocking player, bruv. Yeah, absolute shocking player. But let's bring this up. Misses penalty, which cost Chelsea the Super Cup against Bayern. We all know that. He never had the minerals. Even Jose Mourinho came out and he said, there's no way I'm keeping this player. And he went up, Jose Mourinho says, I want to play every game. He says, mate, I've got Didier Drogba. You're not playing over Didier Drogba. So we got shot of him. Then he joins United from Everton, becomes overweight and gets sold for the following season. Scores an own goal in Europa League final. Costs Inter in the Champions League final. Snakes Chelsea for Inter Milan. To then snake Inter Milan for Juventus. Gets Belgium knocked out of the World Cup. The most expensive player of all time. The biggest and most expensive fuck up in transfer history. He's accumulated an astronomical transfer fee. This guy should be nowhere near Chelsea Football Club. No one likes him. No one wants him. Literally, this guy is like a hooker. You know, he'll just go and dish out wherever he can dish out and make you think that he loves you. Do you know what I mean? Nah. Get him off the books as soon as possible. The fact that Inter Milan and now he wants to go Juve, get him. Let him go Juve. I'm happy, man. Get him out. Get him out. And people are bantering him now. Chelsea supporters bantering him, but they backed him all the way through the season when he ratted us. You see, once a rat like that, fuck off. Yeah. Worst rat at Chelsea. Worst rat at Chelsea. I can't stand the guy, bruv. I can't stand him. Get him out of our club. End of, bruv. So, as always, guys, smash that like button. All of you guys, smash the piece of that like button. All right. Here it is. Let me bring this up. I mean, this is a fucking joke, bruv. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this nonsense, bruv. Chelsea are among the top European clubs interested in Frankfurt's 16-year-old winger Kabir Ali Kanpolat. We're looking at 16-year-olds. Yeah. 16-year-olds. We've sold a core of our team and we are looking at 16-year-olds. Yeah. That is where we are now. That is exactly where we are at Chelsea. Because all they give a shit about is buying these young kids and feeding them at Strasbourg or bringing them to Chelsea. Guys, can you read? Can you see that? It's a 16-year-old we are looking at buying. All right. I'm a little bit concerned here. I'm a little bit concerned. Yeah. All right. It won't be long. And I saw this on Twitter. It won't be long before you get all this from the Dodgers, bruv. Yeah. Look at all that already. Yeah. No one's seen that, have they? Have you seen that, guys? Has anyone seen this? Well, you've seen it now on my channel. Saw that today on Twitter. Interesting, that, isn't it? Listen, guys. This is a very worrying sign. 16-year-olds, bruv. We bought Pires after losing countless games, and they announced Pires, he was 15-year-old. That's what he was. But yeah, guys, I know you probably haven't seen this, but that's what's going on at the Dodgers, mate. It happened. They put that up. They made that. So make of that what you will. Make of that what you will. That's all I've got to say, bruv. Yeah. This is facts. This is the problem, bruv. Yeah. Strasbourg fans as well. Is it Strasbourg fans? They don't want Bowley out, whatever it is, bruv. Dodgers have been protesting. Dodgers have been protesting with all that nonsense that's going on about there. You got Strasbourg protesting against Bowley, yeah, because these guys are vultures, bruv. They're vultures, yeah, absolute vultures. So we got this. So it's at Strasbourg, yeah, Strasbourg. There we go. Things and signs of things to come, because now their club is not going to be treated like a club to challenge. Not that they were anyway. They're 15th position last year in Liga. So they are there like a Brighton to develop, which suits their model, suits that. Their model suits that. It doesn't suit Chelsea, though. We're doing it at Chelsea, man. You know, we're doing farming, bruv. We're farming players. I ain't letting go of this. You're mad, bruv. You're mad if you think I'm letting go of this nonsense, mate. Yeah. So where are we going here? Let's get up this. Where's all the don't know where the bookmarks are gone. They're gone and disappeared. All right, so you signed Mudryk for 80, 90 million. We signed Mount for 55 million. Mason Mount's proven pedigree. Mudryk is not. Mudryk will ball out. I think he will ball out. I'm backing the kid. He's got talent. Talent's not enough. He needs to work hard. Hopefully the gaffer pulls out some sort of minerals out of him to make him work defensively, adapt to the Premier League. Very important. But like I say, he's not that young. He's 23, I think. You know what I mean? He's Kai Havertz's age. What are we doing here, bruv? I don't know why I'm lagging, bruv, but it is what it is, guys. Sorry about that. It is what it is. And in the day, right, people get on my nuts, yeah, because of what I say and how I am. But the bottom line is what I know, I've been saying. What I know is happening. Everything that I've seen up to this point is what I know and is happening. So at the end of the day, it's not like I'm saying anything that's not true. It's all true. And the thing is, people don't see it yet. I already know and I see it. And this is the thing. This model has to work. If this model doesn't work, I don't think you understand the consequences, or the ownership don't understand the consequences. This has to click. This has to click. If it doesn't click, mate, we're done. Next 10 years, we're fucked. All right, so let's bring up Frank Lampard. I want to bring him up. Let me get it up. While I do that, guys, I want you all smash to pieces that like button. Is it still lagging, guys? I haven't even got Wi-Fi on, bruv. I'm using something else. Let's see. I mean, there's not much I can do. It is what it is, guys. It is what it is. All right, let me come. You know, it's no surprise. I never have this problem. But it is what it is. Mount shirt sold out. Watch him pay half his fee. I mean, listen, it's no surprise, man. The guy sold the most shirts at our football club. He was number one shirt seller, Mason, man. Listen, everyone knows, like everyone in football knows, like why would you sell Mason Mount? Let's just go into it. Let's get into it. All right, let me get this up. Video. All right, this is it. Yeah. All right, let's go to this. All right, is that better, guys? Is that better? Can you see me? All right, it's back. All right, we move. We fucking well move. Let's go. All right. Someone's fucking around with my stream, mate. All right, let's go.
That's all you say in every post match.
Yeah, I know, and it wasn't like not trying to be clever and go. I'm just going. This is my line now, standards. But it was like it was very evident to me when I walked in, because you know, having worked at Chelsea as a coach before and as a player, I do know the standards. I do know that. And this is not a direct criticism of the players either, because when I look at the players' situations where they were and I understood how it had been a long year, I walked in with 10 games to go. They'd been there for the whole season, and a lot of players were not playing. They were probably going to leave, which we're seeing now. Whether they were going to leave or the club wanted them to leave or they hadn't been playing with the previous managers. And I could see in training that the level wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to go and get a result at, whoever you might want to say, at Brentford at home or let alone Real Madrid. It wasn't enough. And I can say this now because I said this to the players. And again, it's not an individual criticism of the players, because I also, when you're trying to say you want to be a manager, you have to have a personal understanding of like human nature. If I'm a player that's not been playing for the last 7 months and I think I'm leaving in 4 weeks' time, I'm probably going to...
Or you're being forced out. Players are being forced out. This is the thing. Is that Lamps knows the standards at Chelsea aren't where they should be. But this is not about the players. This is about the ownerships setting the standard. That is where the standard stems from. Yeah? It's where it stems from. And the players absorb it. They drink it in.
Struggle to motivate that player. I haven't got a magic wand to motivate that player. So I think it was that probably my biggest learning out of Chelsea was when you talk about standards and culture. I think people go, he talks about his standards, what he talks about his culture. And I maybe I had to catch myself on and not say it every interview. But at the same time, it was, if you don't have a building block of standards, then that winning culture that everyone goes, what's winning culture? You go, well, I'll try and explain it to you, but it has to start with a basic standard. And which for me is always like train to a level where you're going to push your teammate. He's going to push you, and then we're going to be as competitive as it can be. We don't have...
But that's the point. We weren't competitive, and the players knew we weren't competing because of the state of the club and the toxicity behind the scenes, the ownership in that dressing room. team lineups, 200 changes, injuries, medical team stripped out, everything behind the scenes, toxic. Players didn't want to be at this club. So it doesn't matter what manager you come in that comes in, and Frank was the scapegoat in this. He came into an environment that was nothing of Chelsea, what he knows. And he knew that. So there was no way of Super Frank motivating these players or getting results because it was dead in the water. And it's like, it's clear as day. Like everything he says, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. But it's sort of like, it's not a direct dig at the owners, but I feel it's indirectly at the owners because they set the standards and the competitiveness with their mentality and how they set us up as a team, as a club, what they do in the transfer market. They've gone through 4 different gaffers. There is no stability there. There is no challenge in there that season. That alone is sabotaging.
Have to win. Not every team can win. You know, this Manchester City pretty much win the league every year at the minute. So what's success for everybody else? For Brighton, it's coming 6th or whatever. For Newcastle, it's wow, Champions League. That's huge success. So everyone has a version, but my guess is those teams that have outperformed, they've got something there which is a basic standard that they just build on. And, you know, to be fair to Chelsea, they're in a position now where that needs to be worked on again. It's a transitional time.
That brings me to the quote you said after your Newcastle game, which was, the standards collectively have dropped. I can be honest now, because it's your last game. I might not see them for some time anymore. But low standards are a symptom of something further upstream that's happened. And
thank you. So this is it. Further upstream. This is about the owners, the way they're running the club, their model, gutting us out, causing a shock to the club and the whole dynamics and model that was already existing at the club. And they've stripped that out and brought in too many new players without building around the gaffer and building an actual culture and a way of playing. Instead, they've just gone ahead with their model recklessly, scattergun, because they're clowns. They don't know what they're doing. They're just thinking about money and profitability and buying as many young players as possible. Since January, obviously, we know that. That's what they're going to do, what they've done, and what they will continue to do. But it's stemming from the top, exactly what I said.
We saw this at Manchester United. I'm a big Man United fan. I've seen a decade, 5 years of just like chaos where we've got these amazing players, but 1 + 1 = 1.5. We call it diseconomies of scale.
Yeah.
In great culture, 1 + 1 = 3. You know, where you can make great average players together play amazing, the football of their lives. The furthest upstream thing, where did the standards start to slip? What is the thing that happens in a club like Chelsea, in your experience, when you went back there, that had caused that dropping of standards, which we now saw on the pitch with your sort of 10 games there?
Well, I think when I was tongue-in-cheek, by the way, when I said I'm not going to see them again, because it was a bit like, as I say, I wouldn't say I hadn't said it to them, and I've said it a few times. But the position of it was that, and I think the biggest thing about the standards thing was the size of the squad. It was the motivation of players that you're going to not play, or you're out of the Champions League squad, or these things like it.
And who is responsible for that? Who is responsible for a bloated, inflated squad of too many players? The ownership. No one else. Not the gaffer. We had 4 different gaffers this season. It's the owners again. Another fuck up, as usual.
It's like asking, you know, one of you, I don't know, you maybe love doing this. This is like one of your great moments. You know, I want to sit and you want to speak to all these fantastic people that you speak to. Thanks for your prep, Stephen. Now Peter Jones is going to do it. You know what I mean? You're like, cheers. Do you know what I mean? Like, how long are you going to go with that?
Yeah.
So, and I think in football, that's a challenge with 20 or so players, which is the modern squad. But with Chelsea, it's got very big to the point where this is how I felt, where I can say, you know, I'm not criticizing that player for a drop in standards. I want to try and get something out of him, because I had a short period. I want to try and get something out of him. So I would try. But then when you actually look at it, you kind of go, yeah, but he's had this for a long time where he's not playing. So he's not now being competitive with that player who is playing. So that player's pretty comfortable too, because he's not pushing him. So you kind of get this thing where you're like, you know, we probably took it for granted in some of my better days at Chelsea when we were successful, of like this kind of thing that works. You know, it wasn't even a thing you said. You know, you didn't have to sort of have a meeting every day and go, you know, one of those standards, coach, you know, nice pie chart, and that's what that is. It was almost like this is what we do. And at the minute, sometimes for whatever reason, there's a transition of maybe new ownership. You know, not everything was perfect before the new ownership. I was there before the new ownership as well. Like, to find consistency as Chelsea would really want of winning Premier League titles and challenging has been a good few years now. So I think that getting the squad right, being able, probably a fresh voice as a manager coming in now, who's obviously a fantastic manager with a great record, to come in and go, no, this is the way. And now the squad looks compact. You're going to compete with each other and try and create a great environment. I mean, everyone needs a great environment.
It's about creating a family environment. But what did we have? We had this with Thomas Tuchel. We fucking had this with Thomas Tuchel. And these owners sacked him because they wanted to go in out of the dressing room. They wanted to dictate lineups, force him to play Pulisic and all this nonsense. This is what we had at Chelsea. We had the culture was already fucking there. Give Tuchel the keys, give him the players, build the culture. But the culture, let's have it fucking right, yeah? All right. The culture at Chelsea is Red Bull, Brighton, yeah, Borussia Dortmund. That's the culture, the model. It's not about having an elite gaffer and building with an elite gaffer. We had that elite gaffer and you sacked him, got rid of him. If we had Thomas Tuchel last season, yeah, there's no fucking way we're finishing 12th. No chance. He'd get a tune out of these players. He'll fall out of the owners anyway before he gets to the end of the season saying, what are you fucking signing this player and that player? You're signing me kids. Don't get me fucking proven pedigree, man. We want to challenge. I want to win. These managers want to win. Brand envelopes are coming out saying these managers won't come. Enrique, Nagelsmann, Tuchel, all these players, all these managers, because they want to win now. They got their own demands. Pochettino's a development manager. He wants to win, granted, but he's a development manager. All right? These other managers are the finished article. They've won it. They've won the elite trophies. We had this culture. We had this mentality and these standards at our football club with Thomas Tuchel. And they got rid of him. They got rid of him. Everything he says is all down to them.
To have success, you know, you cannot have a success without team spirit and togetherness. So when I got there, I could just see that the spirit and the togetherness was not there. And it was nothing bad, you know, like it was not bad to go through the week. I could just see, like, you have to train elite to be elite. You have to. And that's not, you know, the modern day players play every few days sometimes. When I say that, it's not like, show me how many sprints you can do every day. It's like, okay, if we're doing prep tomorrow, give me that intensity of thought about what this is for you. And let me see it in your face. But then at Chelsea, when you did that, you had to go, right, if I want to really focus on the 10 or 11 for tomorrow, that means I've got to have like 18 players over there. And you kind of saw the body language as they walked off, some of them. They were like,
they're not involved.
Because they've been having it all season, some of them. So on a human level, I completely understood. And in the end, it was like, I came back here because obviously this was an opportunity to come to my club, you know, Chelsea, a club close to my heart. But as soon as I got in, I realized that probably I thought, you know what, 30 players.
He realised, he went, oh, fuck me. What is this shit show? What a circus. Let's have it right, yeah. Frank Lampard's not stupid. He's very intelligent, very intelligent. He knows what's going on at Chelsea. He can't say it outright. He's not going to do that. But he's letting us know here. He's letting us know. He's letting me know anyway, the way I look at it and the way I see it and the way he's talking. And he's been in there firsthand. He's been in the dressing room. He's seen how it is behind the scenes. He knows what the owners are like. Let's have it right.
So I can motivate in 6-7 weeks because it's not like a long-term thing. I can come in and be fresh. But in terms of when I came in, I noticed very quickly that some players were probably thinking about the season's going to peter out and what's the future going to look like. And that was a difficult situation.
It never crossed my mind that the size of the squad has such a big impact, but it makes perfect sense because you need that sort of healthy competition. And I believe your first team was it 32 players?
Yeah.
Which is more than you're allowed to register for the Premier League or Champions League. So you had this kind of surplus of
a lot of players. A few are always injured, probably, you know, so that comes down a bit, but it's a surplus, and it's a surplus of the makeup of the squad is international players generally. There were a couple of young players, but when you try and build a squad, it would be like, this is my core kind of 15 or 16, and then you go and maybe these two experienced players that might not need to play every week, and then we've got these kids that are waiting and they're like just happy to be there. They want to play. They're going to be training, and if you give them an opportunity, they'll be like. But when you have like international players in a big number, then of course, you know,
and they're all kids Super Frank. And this is the point. Frank's just laid out. What has he laid out? He's laid out the blueprint. The blueprint that is blue like Chelsea. Yeah, that works. That he played in. Experience, young talent, youth, Cobham, DNA, structure, core, mentality, standards, culture, winning mentality. That's not here now. It's exactly what he's telling us. We don't have this at Chelsea now because we've sold all these players.
Well, you're telling internationals you've got to stay at home. It's not easy. And, you know, to have the conversation every Friday with them and get them lined up coming in is also not easy for your own energy. Do you know what I mean? So that's not easy. I don't care what kind of a man manager you are. Like, it's like, next, you're not playing. Okay. Next, you're not playing. You know, like however you try and box that up to a player, eventually they'll probably go, I know I'm not playing. You know, like, stop telling me this shit. Do you know what I mean? So I think, you know, that was an interesting learning curve for me. Like, an interim job is what it is. And I kept getting asked, you know, people, it was kind of frustrating me at times, like, are you finding this so hard? Are you finding this so hard? I was like, you know what? I'm back home in a club that I love. You know, a fantastic training ground. I'm doing everything I can in this job to try and... But
it's not running the same ways Frank knows it. Clear. Everything he's saying is not how it should be run.
Improve it. But I knew behind the scenes there were a lot of things that, you know, myself and my staff, we want to improve. We want to coach. We want to sort of, when you lack those basics, and as I say, I think there's an understanding in the club that it has to change now. I think it has to change. Then if you lack those basics, then it's really hard to get where you want to get to.
What the basics, experience, talent, top quality talent, youth, gaffer, way of playing, philosophy, culture, winning mentality, immediacy. There's none of that at Chelsea. Not one of those things are at Chelsea right now. The only thing we got is this gaffer and his way of talking and him trying to build a family environment and a type mentality and to try and create leaders out of kids. I mean, what are we doing here, bro?
How does that happen though? So there's these 32 players, and then Chelsea spends more money than I think anyone's ever spent in a window, in that sort of January window. You bring in all of these players on these long contracts, which I've never heard before. I think it was like 8-year contracts, and they're all like class, amazing individual players. Is that because the new owner doesn't understand those dynamics of football? Because that's what it seemed like for me. I thought either this is a genius or an idiot.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to criticize anyone like on a personal level.
He's a clown, not
as
an idiot.
A fan looking at it, signing these players on 8-year contracts, they're great players, spending all this money.
They're both clowns.
The impact on culture when you just throw stars in at such quantity.
Yeah.
It looked like inexperience and naivety.
I think that's understood now in terms of what it's meant with those 30 players. And I think you've seen...
It's understood now after the major fuck up. Is it really though, Super Frank? Because right now we're not buying anyone of experience or elite level. We're not going out in the market and actually showing intent. You see, when you're a big club, even though you're out of the Champions League, you go out and compete. You can get the best players of the best by offering the right wages. It's all about money, structure, the project that they all love to talk about, the exciting project. Well, you can't attract these players without these high wages. Hence, Declan Rice can't keep Mason Mount. You can't keep Guy Havertz. You don't want to keep him because you don't want to pay these wages. You got this set multi-club project, this streamline and beachhead in Chelsea as the hub to buy all the young talent and ship them out to your other multi-clubs that you own now. And Strasbourg, the start of it. You know, this is what they want to do at Chelsea, and we're just a money-making machine. And they're using our name and our heritage and our establishment, elite establishment, to entice these players. And these young players, like your sentences, yeah, granted, you might get all the big European clubs going for these players, but these players right now are a young age, and Chelsea are right now going in for them when these other clubs are just looking at them, because they'll be looking at putting them on a development program. These clowns are saying to these players, we want you to play for Chelsea. Of course they're going to sign for Chelsea. It doesn't matter, because in those young players' minds, their ambition is to play for a massive elite club, and Chelsea's that. So that's how they get him in. Then they assess them. The gaffer looks at them and goes, no, they're not ready. All right, we're going to send you on loan here. The deal's done. It's already done. These players are now in the system. That's what they're doing at Chelsea. I love Land and Minerals, bro.
In that now, already, I think 6, 7, 8 players have left. So I think, but the intentions are certainly good. I know that because the owners gave me an opportunity to go in there and I had a good relationship with them. Their intentions to do a good job at Chelsea are amazing. They want to take the club and be the best. You know, they have great intentions. So now I think those younger players, now with a new voice, a new manager, the squad coming tighter, I think they'll have a greater chance to show what they've got anyway. And they're talented players. And, you know, I remember being in Chelsea when Eden Hazard arrived. And pre-season, it was like, this kid, he was a bit lazy looking, you know, and he was a bit...
You see, that was PR by Frank because like, what the fella say? NXT. There's an NDA. There's always NDAs. That's why Jellyfish Potter hasn't come out and said anything. A non-disclosure agreement, bruv. And that's exactly what Super Frank's got. But he has to say, what's he going to say? Their ambition is to just make money. He's not going to say that. He's saying what he's going to say. I mean, it's clear as day, bruv. But at the end of the day, Super Frank has to say that. And it is what it is. But the reality is he knows it's not true. We know it's not true because everything that they've done from this point to this point where they bought our club up to now does not demonstrate that they have the great intentions to make us top of every competition and win it all. Let's have it right. What are we doing here? Let's not be naive.
Bit kind of strolling around. Is this kid definitely? And then that first season, it was like, oh no, he's really good. And then on the second and third season, like, no, this kid's one of the best players the Premier League's seen, or whatever. Mm-hmm. Thierry Henry, Didier Drogba, like you can go through all these players who are like absolute legends. Now, if you're asking, you know, those 5, 6, 7 players to come in and hit the ground running in a difficult moment for the club, it's understandable. So I think as a Chelsea fan, you know, you look at it and kind of go, right, okay. That is positive. There's talent there. Okay, it needs to be worked with now.
Yeah, but it's been forced upon us. It's like we've had to accept this because we've been brought so far down in the mud. That's the only way that they can integrate this multi-club model because we're out of all Europe and out of the big competitions. Because if we're in the big competitions, we would have to go out and buy the big players to compete. These guys are now set our standards and brought us so far down that we have to accept as supporters to go, yeah, all right, we can understand. We've got to let these players develop. We've been given that because they're not going out in the market and buying us the top quality like you're about to mention now.
I'm sure that you can see the squad's getting trimmed. And as I can say, hand on heart, the intentions of the owners is absolutely, you know, they've spent that money because they want to do well. Now, if they're going to address the situation a bit, that's their strategy going forward. But I do think, you know, you'll see players like Enzo Fernandez, Mudryk, and these players, Madueke, players, they're going to develop and they're going to be big players for the club. You have to get the structure right and the strategy right going forward.
My thing is that adding like, I don't know, 6 or 7 of these players all at once, pretty much halfway through the season, in a squad that's already struggling to figure out who it is under Graham Potter, it begs the question, like, who's doing the recruitment here? Because at other clubs, it's a much more it seems like a much more strategic and intentional and football-driven approach to recruitment. Whereas from what I saw at Chelsea, and I have actually spoken to some people at Chelsea who are involved in recruitment, it seemed like chaos.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't there for that period,
right?
So that
it seemed like chaos. It is chaos, and it's the thing. But what can you say? What can Frank say? He wasn't there, like, but he knows. He can tell. Listen, he knows selling Mason Mount is the biggest fucking mistake and joke. Selling Kai Havertz, a player he signed, letting go of Kovacic and N'Golo Kante, players that have won the Champions League, leaders, experience. I mean, no one wants to let these players go. If you're a manager at Chelsea and you want to try and compete, Lampard said we weren't ready to compete at the start. Tuchel comes in, wins us the Champions League because he's got elite experience and he's a minerals general. But Lampard wasn't wrong in the sense of, yeah, we're not ready to compete for Premier League. That's what he meant. That was the context. But Tuchel still managed to go and win us Champions League. Right now, we're not ready to compete for anything. Forget top 4. And if top 4 is the trophy for Chelsea, how far have we fallen, bruv? How far have we fallen as a club in the space of 1 fucking year? And people lap up this ownership.
That was I got there in April, and like so January was the last window, and obviously they spent last summer. But I think the change of ownership And then obviously some people moved on who were in the hierarchy of the club, and so there was changes. So there was a big change of structure. So I think you have to give some time and some leeway for the process. And there certainly now are sporting directors and recruitment people in there, having worked with them, who are very talented, very hungry, good to go. And I think now it will be up to them to take the club forward. They haven't signed bad players. I think this maybe the strategy of bringing them all in at that time, looks a bit excitable at the minute, as in terms of there's a lot of players for success. But I think probably there's a long game, and I think there's a plan. And I think probably most huge clubs like Chelsea have had a version of what this period is. Manchester United, you mentioned there, Arsenal for quite a long time, Liverpool for periods, So I think we have to give definitely. I think to overjudge now, when I think they have signed some good players, would be to be overcritical. I think at the moment, I think the proof will be now how these players develop once now it feels a bit more settled going forward.
How many of these players are good though? How many of these players are really top-notch level? This is the question. This is what you've got to ask yourselves.
I think that's all true. I think what's the optimal way for player recruitment to happen in your opinion? Because you often hear about these stories of where an owner will take charge of a club and then they'll just decide who they want, which is probably what I'd be like if I was an owner. I think I would. It's kept me there because of my impact on the dressing room. Not my impact on the pitch, but on the dressing room. I could keep the standard high. In the modern world, I was reading the stats. Managers are getting fired quicker than ever.
Sure.
And it must be so difficult to establish authority when the player's aware that the manager's going to be the one to be taken out if things don't go well. In business, it's not like that as a CEO, because I own the company and I am the manager. So if there's behavior underneath me that's toxic and contagious, I can act. The center of authority is with me. Whereas it seems like in a club, the center of authority is really like the chairman, the owner. Sometimes the manager manages to get there, but in the modern world, we don't let managers last long enough to build that authority.
No, and that's the tough world that it is. And I think you probably have to earn the right as a manager to get to a club. Maybe when you look at the perfect models right at the top, Manchester City is a good one to talk about. Now I worked with the City group. I had 1 year playing there, and I could see when I was there, they hadn't arrived at that point, but I could see with the stability from above and how it ran and the vision, it was like they were going to get somewhere because they had a great structure.
But they also dealt with the now. You see, you can have a plan, you can have a project, but if you can't deal with the now, the present, then that project means nothing, because you're not working towards that project. You're not building towards that project because your now's in the mud. And that's exactly where Chelsea are. Our project is developing young players like a small club, using our big club and our name, our stature. And we are forced to wait years. But there is no guarantees that we are going to be able to get up there anytime soon. You're relying on young kids with no experience or lack of it to compete in the Premier League when everyone else is getting stronger. Mate, what are we doing? What are we doing here, lads?
Wasn't like it was going to get pulled and pushed and pulled for a small period of time. It was like, we're going to get there. And then they hired Pep. They had a not difficult first year, but the first year was kind of him finding his way. I need this. And then he's a fantastic coach and they have great players. But if you don't have that aligned thing where, as you said, the most important person at the club in the modern day, in my opinion, is the owner. And it is the structure at the top, because they set the tone. Maybe it's financially, maybe it's with the sporting directors and recruitment.
Thank you. What have I been saying all season? They set the tone. They set the tone. Like Roman Abramovich set the tone coming into Chelsea, and it was elite winning mentality, ambition. He went and got Peter Kenyon straight away, sporting director. We got these owners coming in playing sporting director themselves. They've got no experience of football. And then you bring in all these directors and they're not even doing their jobs. You don't allow them to do their job because you're going out doing the deals, negotiating. And we all know it's broadcasted all last summer that you were negotiating deals, Bowley, going out for meals and this and that. Nonsense. I mean, Frank is saying so much without actually saying it. And this is why I respect this GOAT, man. I respect him so much for actually coming out and speaking like this, because it's clear as day he's doing it in such an intelligent way. And we can see it. And I can see. And it all adds up because he's seen it firsthand. Like, if you haven't got the mentality from the start and from the ownership, then you ain't getting it from anywhere else. Pochettino can have all the ambition, all the mentality in the world, But if he's not been given that by the ownership and the directors, what's he got? What chance has he got? Let's be real about it.
Because you will be as good as the players you recruit. A great manager, again, I don't want to sit here and drop names, it said to me, it was when we finished my first season at Everton, we just stayed up, skin of our teeth. And he was like, rang me to say congratulations. He went, Frank, don't rest. 80% of your work for next season will be done in the next month. So it was recruitment. So like 20% will be what you do next year. And now the 80% is like bringing the right players. So I think, you know, like that alignment, as I keep saying there, is something that, you know, if you can get an owner, and there are great owners and there are great sporting directors and recruitment, and the manager is so, you know, critical to it. But when you look at last season, 13 managers left their club, I think it's 13 out of 20 clubs. And you're talking about, you know, Antonio.
And out of those 13, we had four in one season from one club, 4 in one season.
Conte, and you're talking about Thomas Tuchel, you know, managers that had huge successes. It shows you that the landscape's changed to the point where the manager will be culpable. And I think you have to be at peace with that, but you have to try and get to the point very quickly where you have success. And that's tough, because winning is, and the modern world of social media and reaction is like, get him out, you know, get the next one in.
And this is exactly what Ted Lassaboli and Siri Merchant-Egbali play on: social media, manipulation, setting narratives, using platforms. And Super Frank knows that that is a major tool in how they can go around achieving their Epstein FC, their Kindergarten FC project at Chelsea Football Club, which is exactly what they are doing right now.
You know, sometimes maybe they're right, maybe the manager is culpable, but other times there are many things. And to come back to your original point about players and those stalwarts and the Gary Nevilles and the James Milner at Liverpool in the last whatever years, you know, people on the outside, I think it's very easy to look at the superstars and Mo Salahs and that. I can guarantee you, and I know this firsthand from speaking to people like James Milner and Jordan Henderson have absolutely set the tone of that club for the last whatever years during great success. And if you don't have that kind of those drivers within that top 6 or 8, I think it's very hard to sustain success or get success. And
right, where are those players, guys? I want you to name me the players he's talking about. Players like Super Frank himself in our team, John Terry, Didier Drogba. Where are these players at Chelsea now? Because we've got rid of them all. We got rid of Mason Mount, who fits that mould and he's a leader, and Lampard made him captain. Tuchel made him captain four times. Yeah, he's been captain 5 times at Chelsea. You got who else is there? Jorginho was vice captain, leader. You had Marcus Alonso, we sold in the summer. Experience, leadership qualities. Azpilicueta, leadership qualities. Kovacic captained us as well, leader. Yeah. Experience. You got Thiago Silva, Reece James is in there. But we haven't got these players. N'Golo Kante, an example on the pitch, the way he plays the game, the levels he sets. This is not at Chelsea now. And Frank Lampard is basically saying, if you don't have at least 2 of these players in your team as a minimum, and this kind of these players that are part of the culture and the DNA of your football club, then you don't have a chance. Oh man, he's fucking mudding these owners, bruv. He really is.
Again, back to my Chelsea days, we had that naturally, and we were actually quite diverse. So it was like John Terry was like the real captain, like heart on his sleeve. You could see it in him every day. I was probably like more quiet, but like a trainer and standards and myself, and trying to hope that would bring people with us. Didier was this sort of charismatic from the Ivory Coast and kind of brought in, you know, that section of the dressing room, and he took Petr Cech spoke 5 languages. Ashley Cole was such a nice lad and this, you know, best left back the country's probably ever seen. So we had this amazing group. And like, if others aren't going to follow that, then very quickly it was like, you're not going to make it, regardless of the manager change. It's like you won't survive the dressing room, and that's kind of how it was.
It reminded me of a quote that I've said on this podcast before, which is, when the culture's strong, the new people become the culture, and when the culture's weak, the culture becomes the new people.
Right.
because when you have that
There you
core
go. It's very
disciple,
clever.
someone coming
The
in,
culture
they'll stand
becomes
out
the
so
new,
much
the new
if they
people,
don't fit in with you, Didier, Frank, etc.
which is exactly what's happening now. The culture is the new players we're bringing in. It's not the young players coming in to the culture at Chelsea, because these owners haven't set an identity at our football club. There's no identity at Chelsea. There's no philosophy. There's no building with a proper gaffer. You're only bringing Pochettino now because you fucked up hiring Jellyfish Potter and sacking our elite gaffer in Thomas Tuchel, who had identity, who represented our football club, who had an image at our football club and set the tone at Chelsea, and he was a proper gaffer. So as soon as you sack Thomas Tuchel, whether you like it or not, we have capitulated. We have fallen so far, and it's all down to the ownership because it's their decision and they take the full fucking responsibility. Let's have it right.
That they'll instantly be expelled.
Yeah.
But when the culture is weak, someone will come in and they'll actually influence the dynamics. And that's when you're really, from my experience in business, is when you're really, really screwed.
No, that's interesting, because I think in football as well, because it's so topical, there's so much conversation around it. But, you know, I managed Chelsea for 7 weeks, I think I did. And I spoke a lot about standards, and I was a bit, am I saying standards too much?
I saw you say it in every post-match.
Yeah, I know. And it wasn't like, not trying to be clever and go, I'm just going to.
You gave Mason Mount his start.
Yes, I think he's a great signing for your.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Thank you for that. He's fantastic. Well, why is he leaving Chelsea? He's born and bred, isn't he?
Yeah, I think it's a complicated one, and in the end, I think he's got a year left on his contract. What I'll say about Mason is all the things I spoke about there. You talk about like modern players and how the game's changed. He is a throwback to the attitude and the commitment and the quality. That was the beauty of working with Mason. Was
what he's just said there is what he said about Henderson, Milner, what he was like, John Terry, what standards are set, the attitude, the training, the love for the club, the mentality, the winning DNA. He's Chelsea. We have sold that. We have sold that.
So he gave you so much in terms of his effort every day. Anything you'd ask him to do, it was like, yeah, and he kind of got it. And I think any great player has to have that kind of intelligence and that desire about them. You know, like, what do you need me to do? Yeah, I've got it and I'll do it. I'll repeat it. And also quality. So in terms of what he'll bring to Manchester United, it won't just be what Mason brings. He will bring loads of talent, but he's just going to go and levels around.
Really, he's a bar raiser.
I think so. And don't get me wrong, the bar raisers already there with Bruno Fernandes, Rashford, but he will absolutely, Casemiro, but he will absolutely fit in.
Everything I say, you're putting in with players now, which we don't have at Chelsea. We don't have experience in Casemiro. We don't have that Bruno Fernandes type player. We don't have a Rashford. You know, these are players that are ready to compete now, and they're under a manager that's been given keys and control, and to reinstill the culture of Manchester United and a style of play, a philosophy. Mason Mount is that piece that is going to make Ten Hag's Manchester United tick and play how he wants to play: high intensity, pressing, movement, goals, assists, creativity, defensive work rate, mentality, dressing room presence. That's why he's been given a number 7 shirt. Frank Lampard, I know, advised Minnals Mount to leave. And that's a fact. And he knew the state of Chelsea Football Club. And you can tell by the way he talks anyway.
If you're trying to build, which you're saying, a group mentality of a team, and, you know, players that are just going to give everything and have talent, which top team he fits it. So I've seen some like sort of alternative reactions to that. It's like, oh yeah, Mason Mount's a good buy. Why would you pay that for him? Mason Mount is going to be a fantastic player there.
He knows he's going to ball out, bruv. He's going to be he's going to be the best player.
It's really nice to know, because actually I was a bit on the fence in regards of don't really know the character of the man, but I have heard from inside Old Trafford that Eric Ten Hag is really ultra focused on exactly what you said above everything else. He's focused on that like core values. So Casemiro, Bruno, etc., etc. And so it's nice to know that Mason is he is a bar raiser.
Yeah.
Why is he leaving? Do you
know?
Seeking a different challenge, or is it?
No, I don't think so. I think probably Mason would have.
Look, he said no, he's not seeking a new challenge. It's because he knows that the owners wanted to sell him, bruv. and that he wasn't in their plans. Otherwise, he would have just said, yeah, he wanted a new challenge.
Envisaged 2 years ago that he'd stay at Chelsea for a lot of his career. I just think circumstances, his contract situation.
Oh, man.
I know he's got a big love for Chelsea. Also in the modern day, you know, I think more than...
I want to rewind that.
We have a closing tradition on this podcast where the last guest leaves a question for the next guest, and I have
seen some like sort of alternative reactions to that. It's like, oh yeah, Mason Mount's a good buy. Why would you pay that for him? Mason Mount is going to be a fantastic player there, my opinion.
It's really nice to know, because actually I was a bit on the fence in regards of don't really know the character of the man, but I have heard from inside Old Trafford that Eric Ten Hag is really ultra focused on exactly what you said above everything else. He's focused on that like core values, so Casemiro, Bruno, etc., and so it's nice to know that Mason is he is a bar raiser.
Yeah.
But why is he leaving? Do you know? Seeking a different challenge, or is it?
No, I don't think so. I think probably Mason would have envisaged 2 years ago that he'd stay at Chelsea for a lot of his career. I just think circumstances, his contract situation. I know he's got a big love for Chelsea. Also in modern day, you know, I think more than even in my day, players do move. And I don't think, you know, the challenge of moving, now it's come to that. For Mason personally, is a good challenge for him. I would have liked to see him stay at Chelsea because I think
we all would have, Frank. We all would have, mate.
It didn't happen.
We have a closing tradition on this podcast.
Fucking clowns. Fucking clowns. Fucking clowns, bruv. Oh, dear. Crying out loud. What a disgrace, man. Fucking joke, bruv. Do you know what I mean? You got Super Frank there spitting fucking facts there. Facts. He knows he's a baller. He knows he should have been at Chelsea. He knows that these owners didn't fucking want him. I won't let this go. This is one you don't let go. This one is it's going to cost dearly to these fucking clowns, yeah? It's going to cost them dearly, bruv. All right? I know it. I know the player, how fucking elite he is, bruv. I know how elite he is, bruv. Yeah? I know how elite he is, bruv. Big up, Super.
So,
well, just to be clear, you didn't tell me that exactly. You said, I can't come and I can't tell you why.
Then I told you after.
Yeah,
right.
then you told me after. But I'm not an idiot. So
right, okay.
I kind of inferred maybe that.
Okay. So anyway, I mean, no, I think probably that it's normal that I consider everything. And, that, you know, I probably considered it as in, firstly, it's a club very close to my heart, as I said before. A challenge of working, and it was like we had 2 games against Real Madrid and we had the season to pan out. It was a difficult running, so I was fully aware of that. And I don't know, maybe like, you know, I do love a challenge. If that challenge had been probably any other club other than Chelsea, I probably would have said no. I was very happy to be at home as such in that period. I wasn't fighting to get a job at that period. So it was probably a bit of head and heart. I'm not sure what the heart probably was a bit more substantial in this one than the head, because I suppose if you look back again, we're in that hindsight position. But you know, what were my positive outcomes? What were my negative ones? The minute we didn't get through, I think, you know, that was an interesting learning curve for me. Like an interim job is what it is. And I kept getting asked, you know, people, it was kind of frustrating me at times, like, are you finding this so hard? Are you finding this so hard? I was like, you know what? I'm back home in the club that I love. You know, a fantastic training ground. I'm doing everything I can in this job to try and improve it. But there were...
He's doing everything he can at that moment in time to instill the Chelsea way, the Chelsea DNA. He tried everything, man, but he couldn't do it because the owners don't allow him to do it, man, because they fucking gutted it out, bruv. This is what I'm saying, man. It doesn't matter who you bring in. Thomas Tuchel told him to fuck off, yeah? He knew that they were clowns. He knew their project was a joke, Mickey Mouse project, all right? He knew that it was all a joke, and this is not how football works. And they're instilling some new age model at Chelsea, and yet we're all seeing it, and we're all having to fucking literally just accept it. Well, I'm not accepting it. I'm backing my players on the pitch and my gaffer, and that's about it, bro. Anyone else at the club, you need to fucking earn your stripes and land it, because at the moment it's a shit show. It's an absolute shit show. Pay the fucking money. Get Casado, man. You know what I mean? You've made 200 million. You know what I mean? Apparently we've got so much money. Do you know what? We go and spend another 200 million, and 200 million is not even going to get you like 2 players at this rate, right? We're going to spend over 800 million. We're close to $1 billion. And look at our team. Look at the state of our team, bro. Do you know what I mean? It is what it is, bro. It is what it is. But yeah, there was one more thing I want to hear from Super Frank, and I think it's in this.
I knew behind the scenes there are a lot of things that, myself and my staff, we want to improve. We want to coach. We want to sort of, when you lack those basics, and as I say, I think there's an understanding at the club that it has to change now. I think it has to change.
There you go, man. It's like everything has to change, but they're not going to change their model. In other words, what has to change? You can't go in that dressing room. You can't dictate team lineups. You can't just go out in the market and spend all the money and not actually discuss and have conversations with a gaffer in charge, who's actually in charge of these players in his team. That's a philosophy. You can't just sack off your medical team. You can't just sack the tea lady, groundsman, cut everything out. You can't not give responsibility to your director of football, instilling a model that you've taken them from other clubs that actually have already implemented that model, which is from small clubs like Red Bull, who've been in existence 15 years. You've got to change all of this. We're Chelsea. We're already an elite football club. We're not a club trying to build to be a big club. We fucking are a big club. But you're not dressing us. You're not treating us like one. And Frank's saying you got to get back to basics. You got to understand how football works, mate. You got to understand the structure. Look at all the other top clubs in world football, how they run. No one's running like this fucking clowns. No one's going out buying kindergarten FC players for their first team. Are Real Madrid doing that? Are Manchester United doing that? Are Man City doing that? Are Arsenal doing that? Fucking not even Arsenal are doing it. Not even Spurs are doing it. So why is it all right for Chelsea to do it? Why are we got to accept that? I'm not accepting it, mate. No chance. Yeah? And Super Frank knows it. That's why he's the GOAT, bruv. Always the GOAT. And listen, he's got an NDA, yeah? We know this. We know Super Frank's got an NDA with these clowns, all right? But he's doing it in such a clever way because he's a clever guy, man. Big up Super Frank. And I'll tell you this now, yeah? Thomas Tuchel, he told him, let's have it right, bruv. He don't give a shit, man. He goes, I'm not even upset about Chelsea and seeing Chelsea because I know it's not the same Chelsea. And it came out. And Didier Goat Drogba as well. He ain't got no NDA. He don't give a toss. He came out and said, this is not this club of the club I don't recognise. I don't recognise my club anymore. Yeah? I no longer recognise my club. And that's Didier Drogba. Because he knows. He goes, another sweet Prince Mason Mount is leaving our club. Big up champion. Good luck. He fucking well knows. The GOAT knows. Everyone knows in football, except our supporters. It's like our supporters are just literally digesting everything that these owners are just shoveling down your timeline. You believe everything. I don't. I will not. And you tell me Beckham and this and that. The proof's in the pudding. And right now, this pudding tastes like shit. All right. And the transfer window's not over. We don't know what we're going to sign yet. Let's wait until the end of the transfer window. And let's see how we perform next season. And we're going to wait till it's an absolute shit show again. And it's toxic again. And it's not. And everyone's going to blame who? You think they're going to blame the owners? No. They're going to blame players like they did last season. They're going to feed agendas on players. They're going to blame Pochettino. And everyone's going to get the shit like that, just like they did last season, and blame agendas and players and this and that. All right? When the root of the problem and the real blame goes to Ted Lasso-Bowley, Siri Merchant-Barley, Paul with Toothpick Winstanley, Joe Shields, well, maybe not, Lawrence Stewart, all these guys, Chris Rivell, these are the guys that should take all the responsibility and all the blame, like they do now. I blame them. They're the ones that put us in this position. No one fucking else. You can't blame the players. You can't blame the gaffers in charge. You can't blame the coaching staff. There's people at Cobham that brought up these players and are disgusted with what's going on at Chelsea. And they're looking to fucking leave. Yeah, because they know it's not the club. They know it anymore. The model's changing. The ambition, the identity's changing. And you ain't got a Scooby yet. You don't know. You're praying. You're hoping that it works. I hope it works. for the sake of Chels, because I love my club. But the reality is, this is a very risky fucking game. And right now, we're losing more and more money. We're losing more and more quality. We're losing all of our ambition. We're losing all of our winning mentality. We're losing all competitiveness on all fronts. Only our women's team are fucking landing the minerals at this rate. All right. And that's how far we've fallen. We're a long way from Starbucks. We are a long way from Hollywood, where they should fucking go and stay there. All right. They're not even elite enough to do that. It's just sad. And I'm seeing all these other clubs buying players that we should be buying, and we're not. And that tells you everything you need to know. Everything you need to know. And I am hearing now, there's breaking news that we're fucking bringing cement-booted rat has called Pochettino to say he's coming to Cobham to train, and we're bringing this guy back. Chelsea, are we fucking having a laugh? Is this a joke? Is this a fucking joke? What are we doing here, man? Fuck's sake, man. You don't bring these fucking rats to our football club. You don't give a shit about our culture, about DNA, about Chelsea, heritage. You just give a fuck about your balance in the books. You're fucking, we got to keep him because we can't sell him. Why didn't you fucking put all the energy in selling that cement-booted rat instead of fucking selling Mason Mount, Kai Havertz, Kovacic, Kante? You fucking melt. You're an absolute disgrace, man. You're bringing this guy back to our football club. Fuck off, man. I'm done. I'm done with this shit. I'm done, bruv. This guy moves like the fucking Titanic, bruv. All right? What's Pochettino going to do with this guy? Pouring Kunku, bruv, and Enzo. What are we doing here, man? Pochettino don't play counter-attacking football. What the fuck are we doing, man? Crying out loud, bruv. This is fucking true. I've got to see if this is true. Who tweeted this shit, man? Who tweeted this shit? Oh, I can't, man. I'm done, man. I'm done. Fuck this. If he's coming back, I'm done, bruv. And I've got these rats tampering with my stream, man. Who tweeted this shit? Let's see how they all react to Lukaku now, coming back to Chelsea. We're going to back him, are we? You see what these owners are doing, man? You see what they're doing? They don't want to spend the money and go and buy a fucking top striker, and we're going to bring in this guy. And poor Pochettino has got to deal with this fucking flip-flop, this weak mentality. Absolute joke of a footballer at our football club. No, I'm done, bro. I'm done. I'm done, mate. Guys, hit that like button, subscribe, all that jazz. Put your comments down below. That's it for me, bruv. I'm done. He better be fucking sold. If he comes back, I'm done, bruv. I'm done. Yeah, I'm done. Literally, I won't accept that. No chance. Yeah. It tells you exactly what's happening at Chelsea. I don't know what's going on with my stream, man. People are tampering with it. Why? Because I speak the truth. Because I land it as it is. Big up to Super Frank. Go. Landed it. Big up to all the Minerals FC Ultras, bruv. Every single one of you. I might even do a Twitter space. Who fucking well knows? Let's see what happens, bruv. But big up to every single one of you. Make sure you put your comments down below. I don't know what's happening. It's a funeral, bruv. Apparently it's all blacked out. We're blacked out at Chels. This is what we were doing, bruv. What is going on, man? What is going on, bruv? So make sure you do that, guys. Smash the likes, hit the subscribe button, put your comments down below. Big up to all the guys landing the Super Minerals. Big up to every single one of you, bruv, supporting the channel. Yeah, love, big up British Patriot, my geezer. Look at this, got Arsenal support saying what is happening in Chelsea is a really sad story. Bowley needs to go. I hate him like I hate the Cronkies. They are doing Matrix attack on Johnny. They are, bruv. They're fucking trying to shut me down, man. You think, right? You don't think that these guys, these billionaires, don't have links to all the fucking kingpins on every platform, bruv. They'll call up YouTube. Yeah, let's go to this fucking coding and suck him dry, bruv, and shut him down. Yeah, let's have it right. They can't shut us down, man. I'll keep going, man. I ain't stopping, mate. Yeah, up the Chels, up the Minerals FC. Love to every single one of you. We'll be back again as always, landing the damn Minerals. But make sure you put your comments and keep pushing this out, bruv. We need everyone to see what Super Frank said and the reaction and dissecting it for what it is, bruv. Yeah, big up to every single one of you. I need to take a breather after reading that nonsense. But big up, and we are bigger than the Matrix, bruv. We are bigger than the Matrix, yeah? Let's have it right. So, as always, up the Chels, up the Minerals FC, we move.